This meeting is being recorded.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to, first off, can everyone still see my screen? Somebody from the Zoom world, please let me know.
Yes.
Thank you, Thomas. All right. So today we're going to be extending our conversation from last week with the one suite. And so for those who are already logged in to one login, just go straight to one suite, right? And we'll hop right into it. If you are not logged in yet, I'll give you about 15 more seconds to log in on your device. Remember, this is a workshop and we want you to be proactively implementing these things as we go through them. So I'll get off of that screen. And very briefly, since you guys are on here, we've added the MLSs as tiles to your one login. So if you click under everything or if you click under core products, you'll see them visible, FMLS, Georgia MLS. But again, today we're talking about one suite. Let me let Anthony in. 1 second here. Good morning, Anthony. If you could, good morning, Jan. If everyone could mute themselves. All right, so jumping into one suite. Everybody logged in. So we left off on some of the drip campaigns, right? And so we want to kind of focus today's efforts on drip campaigns and actually utilizing some of the tools embedded inside of one suite. Market reports, tasks. So what we're going to do, instead of me just going from app to app to app, I'm going to do it a little bit more streamlined today. And I'm going to go to where you see training videos and docs inside of the portal, right? We'll click on that and you guys have access to this as well. Yours will probably just say agent instead of admin, except for some of our sales managers. And then we'll go to agent training docs and we're going to go into build drip letters and campaigns. Because again, I know that I can tell you this stuff, but it's a little bit easier if you know where to access it from in the future, right? And everyone can still see my screen, right? In Zoom?
Yep.
Thank you. All right, so there are 3 parts to the drip campaign feature, right? The letter or letters that are to be created and sent to your clients or yourself. Recall, these are actually emails. These are not physical letters. They just call them letters for whatever reason. So this is how you create those drip campaign letters. And this is the actual campaign that we're looking at right now. The letter in itself is a single solo email, right? The campaign is multiple emails. So it's an entire campaign, right? So you'll start with the drop down, marketing. You'll go to drip campaign letters, drip campaigns, or campaign groups. And you'll notice if you click on the eyeball, you can actually see the content of the individual letter. Now you see that this is a campaign for holidays. Therefore, there are multiple emails, right? You have the Memorial Day, 4th of July, Labor Day, Halloween. At a minimum, everybody should be on a holiday campaign, right? And then if they're a buyer, you want them in a buyer campaign. If they're a seller, seller campaign. If they're a past buyer campaign, right? If it's a cold lead that you've been reaching out to that you can't get in contact with, drop them in the cold lead campaign. You want to get in front of these people. Pardon?
Oh, I was just looking at the I don't see the holiday thing. I got agent on your on screen. I don't see where it says holiday.
All right, so I'll go back to the page and I'll show you from here. So at the very top, you see marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see that drop down?
Yeah.
All right, so at the very top, drip campaign letters,
Mm-hmm.
and then drip campaigns. If you go to drip campaigns, remember the letter is going to be a solo email. If you go to drip campaign, you'll notice that at the bottom it's going to say holidays right here. Holidays,
okay.
United States.
Maybe I just need to make it bigger because I.
Yep. And so again, recall this is an actual campaign.
Okay, I got you.
One second, let me let Delisa in. Good morning, Delisa. All right, so again, this is an actual campaign, right?
Okay.
And I want to put them on, if I'm working with a buyer, for instance, I'm going to put them on a buyer campaign as well, right? If I'm already working with that buyer. If it's a prospective buyer, I'm probably going to put them on the buyer prospect campaign, right? And then again, if it's a past buyer campaign, 4-week lead reminder, right? If you have their birthday, happy birthday, and you can actually see what it's going to look like if you click on the link, right? I'm not sending that, right? We have too much dopeness in our organization to send this, right? So in a moment, I'm going to show you guys how to change all of this stuff, right? But that's how you see what it's going to be, right? And of course, as we mentioned last week, you want to make sure your agent email and everything else is completed. Your picture is not going to show up here, but it's letting you know what's going to be there. So whatever your email signature is going to be there. Whatever your picture is will be there. But this, again, is better than nothing, but you can do a lot better than that. And we'll get to that in a moment. Right? Did that answer your question, Jan?
Yes.
Awesome. So keeping it moving. And I'm going to go back to the page. Because again, it's very simple directions to follow. PDF format is going to literally take you step by step, where to the point where we actually wrote down the number, right? And again, you can also do campaign groups. This is what the information of the email is going to look like. And again, you can edit that as well. So if you don't want it to be so generic, I would come in and touch it. And again, you do this one time and it's set up for life, right? And we have technology on our side, right? Meaning Chat GPT, meaning Google Bard. You can literally go to Google and say, and make sure anytime you're using these artificial intelligent, chat bots, you want to prompt them to let them know exactly what you're looking for. So before you ask them to do anything, you say, hey, Chat GPT or Bard. I like Google Bard a lot, actually. But a lot of people are familiar with Chat GPT, so we'll stay there. You'll say, hey, Chat GPT, I am a top producing real estate professional in the city of Atlanta, Georgia for Realty One Group Terminus. You are my marketing director, or you are my marketing assistant, or you are my transaction coordinator. Whatever you want them to be, you let them know that that's who you are. This is who I am. And then you give them whatever you want them to spit out. After you send the prompts, you say, create an email for Memorial Day, right? Create an email geared towards wishing them a happy birthday, whatever it might be, right? And then you create it, you grab it, or you can do it yourself, but why not use this technology, right? So you grab it, you copy and you paste it. It's customized. You never have to do it again, right? And same thing with the photo. We'll get there in a second, but you want to go to Creative Studio, right? And while I'm talking about it, I'll just go there real quick so you guys can have a visual, because that's not on this piece of paper. So you would want to go to, we'll go here. And you guys can still see my screen in Zoom, right? I'm on a Vibe board, so I want to make sure you guys can always see it.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. All right, so you'll go to One Design Creative Studio, right? Oh, we have background remover now too inside of Creative Studio. So if you have makes it a lot easier if you want to do something on the fly. So come to Creative Studio and create you a marketing piece that's going to be more in line with our brand, with your brand, right?
They have the digital templates for holidays as well.
Absolutely. And so
up third from the top, third, fourth from the top, right there. says digital template above magazine.
Oh, yeah. Holiday posts.
Mhm.
Right? So you can come here and pull them if you want to. And at the very bottom is where we create the most recent ones, right? And so they'll get better and better the closer to the bottom you get. But again, these pieces you can just drop in and use these. Great point, Clarence. Right? Same thing when it comes to your birthday stuff. Like it's here for you. Just get it done and utilize it. You can do carousel branding and all that other stuff, but we won't live here. I get lost in one design, but I want to show you like this Memorial Day post, right, is going to look a lot better than the one that's already inside of OneSuite. So just take a little bit of time to do it, and then it's done forever, and it's going to actually be effective. If they receive this, then it's not going to have the same impact as if they see something that's aesthetically pleasing that they really want to be involved with, and they're going to feel like, oh, they actually took the time to send me something that's creative and looks good, and again, it connects them to you as a brand. So moving on.
Adrian,
I'm not.
I have a question.
Yes.
When you do
Sure.
the drip campaigns, do you have to say I have a drip campaign for well, just on my sphere of influence. Do you have to actually put in like I have their birthdays, maybe their anniversary, the holidays. Do you have to actually physically put it in the drip campaign, or is it just a drip campaign with a lot of different letters? I'm trying to understand that.
So I don't know if I understand the question
The
100%
question,
fully.
okay, the question is, in the drip campaigns, are there different letters, right?
Correct. There's multiple letters in the campaign.
Right. Right. So would it be like a holiday? Would it be a birthday or something like that that's included in campaign one? That's what I'm trying to see. Or is it just one letter and then you have to add on into the campaign?
Great question. So going back to the first step, this is why I'm using the PDF too, so it can show you the
Okay.
steps. But if you go to marketing at the top,
Mm-hmm.
right, you see the drop down, right?
Uh-huh.
At the top, it says drip campaign letters. Those are going to be solo emails, right? You see how there's, right? So, and it shows you, this
All
is
the
where
letters.
yep. And this is where you can edit them as well.
Okay.
So,
That was my second question too.
yep. So new listing plan for associates, email one, for instance, right? You see all of, and it lets you know this is the second email in the campaign. This is the third email in the campaign.
Mm-hmm.
The campaign is a collection of emails.
Okay.
The letter itself is only one email,
Okay.
right? You follow me?
Mm-hmm.
So if you were to go to drip campaigns, you're going to get an actual campaign with multiple emails in each campaign. And it's going to let you know, you'll know that because it's an actual campaign. It's not a letter, right? Or in one email, one individual email. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, so you get to look at the letters before they're sent out. You can eyeball it, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Correct. So if you, let's say, going back to the holiday campaign.
Mm-hmm.
So if we want to see what's going on with the holiday campaign, we'll click on it. And these are all of the emails that are included inside of the holiday campaign, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say, let's say you don't like Halloween. You can remove the Halloween campaign or
Okay.
the Halloween email, right?
Right.
But you can, with the eyeball, you click on the eyeball and you see what you're working with. Oh, they updated this one. So this one is already updated for you.
Yeah, I just checked the rest of them. They're all updated.
Perfect. So they've updated them. So good stuff. So see, this is why I love this organization, right? So Veterans Day, that one will probably be updated soon too. right? So, but again, that's how you review what's going to be sent out to your client,
Okay.
right? And in the subject, that's what it's going to look like inside of their subject. And again, you can customize this as much or as little as you would like.
Okay.
The most important thing is these are touches, right? You have to stay in front of all of these clients all of the time, right? And so, I mean, well over 50 times a year. So each one of these touches will count towards that touch count, right? And again, all you do is you want to look through. I'm a big proponent of making sure it is how you want it to be, that it speaks your language, right? Again, I would probably take it a step further and add my branding on top of the branding, right? And then we just saw you can do the background remover now inside of Creative Studio.
Yeah.
So I'm putting my photo on top of it, right? So they can remember, hey, it's coming from me.
Right.
And they're going to continuously see me throughout the year. And all I'm doing is setting them up on a campaign one time, right? I set it and forget it. Now they're being touched. Now they remember it. Now it looks like you're remembering them, but it's the system that's remembering them, not you, right? And going back to your original question, Jan, if it's a birthday, their birthday has to be inside of their contact information. That's how it's going to know to send out the birthday email on their birthday if their birthday is included in their contact portion inside of their profile, and you select happy birthday, right?
So
The
you
campaign.
actually have to select each one. This is the ones that you have the individual letters, right?
No, these are all we're still talking about campaigns. You see at the top it says
Oh yeah,
drip campaign.
I just wanted to make sure I was talking about the right thing. So you have to
Okay.
actually go in and click on what things to put in the campaign. Am I understanding that right?
No. Great question though. So thanks for lifting that. You we've already put the campaigns together for you.
Right, right.
However, nothing is sent to anyone until you initiate it. So you have to come in and select which campaigns you want to go to which lead. And then at that point, you're able to have it sent out automatically until you remove it, right? And we're talking annually. So this is going to happen. If they're on holiday campaign, it's going to happen every year because they're on that holiday campaign, right? Because the holidays don't stop.
Right.
However, in the buyer campaign, for instance, once it loads, and if you wouldn't mind hitting mute for me, Jan.
Okay.
All right, so for a buyer campaign, for instance, this one isn't in perpetuity, right? It stops after the 32nd day. So on day one, it shows you where it's going. So day one, you get the thank you for visiting, right? And that might be visiting your website or visiting the site that they dropped into to come reach you. On day 4, hey, start your home search here, right? On day 11, here's your home buying plan, right? On day 18, getting your finances ready for a home purchase. I need to slide my information in there as the mortgage loan originator for y'all. Tap money.
Why don't you just create a slide for you?
I will.
Yeah.
We actually got a great advertisement that just came in today too that I'll share with everybody.
Oh, nice.
Day 32, checking in, right? And so, and again, you can, this is already done for you, but you're able to create whatever you need. And like, again, everything isn't just a flyer or a marketing piece. Some of them are just basic emails because we want it to sound like it's actually coming from you. Yeah. We don't want it to seem like it's robotic, right? And again, so let's say you read this and you say, this just doesn't sound like me, or it's just not exactly what I want. ChatGPT is your best friend. That's your new assistant, right? That's gonna save y'all $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year on an assistant.
That's my baby right there.
You know? And so you grab that information, you pop it in here, and it's done for you. And you never have to do it again because this is going to go to any single person that you put inside this campaign. As long as they're assigned to the campaign, nothing changes, right? Except their name. So instead of saying, hi, Joe, it's going to say, hi, Susan, right? So going back to the document. This is going to tell you the ins and outs of it all. The subject is the name. Obviously, we know what a subject is. And then it's going to ask you who is it going to be sent to. And and then you also have the creator, right? So you have company letters, and then you have agent letters, right? So we create stuff from a company standpoint, and then you create stuff from an agent standpoint. The company stuff is shared with everyone. The agent stuff is shared only with yourself, right? That's pretty much all for this because we just went over everything else without going through it. Thanks to Jan. Thank you, Jan. She know we love her.
Thank you, Jan.
All right, so moving on to the next. So going back to training videos and docs. And again, I want to do it this way instead of just jumping around so you guys can see, oh, I forgot something. You know exactly where to go.
With information, right?
Absolutely. All right, so going to the modern drip builder overview. Are we gonna open? So this is how you, if you wanted to edit those, right? This is a little blurry, but again, you guys know what that is. That's the drip campaign letters, not the campaign, but the letter itself. So in this one, where you have to go to the individual letter or email that you want to have customized, and then you get to it from the drip. And let me just show you real quick. That will be here, marketing, and then drip campaign letters, the very first one, right? And now you have the individual letters as opposed to the campaign. And you'll notice that the number goes up drastically because we're talking just the individual email, not the actual campaign, right? And so we want to, you'll see an option that says modern editor, right? You can go down to the welcome to the new modern letter editor, and then you can see exactly what it needs to be sized at. So 600 by 375 pixels or 450 by 300 pixels. So you go in and you create that inside of Creative Design Studio or Canva if you prefer, right? But again, I'm a huge proponent of Creative Studio because it has everything that you need, right, to stay on brand. And it's probably going to already be one there for you that looks phenomenal. And so now you add those. So again, if you didn't like that Veteran Day, holiday, you just pop it in here and now it's removed, right? Same thing with the headers, right? You can rearrange the boxes. So some pages look different than others. Some are going to be just like a basic flyer. Some stuff is going to actually have an outline, right? Or a layout. And you'll be able to manipulate what you want that layout to look like simply by up or down or side to side, right? And now it's going to look and feel exactly the way that you want, like that, right? So it looks like it's coming from MailChimp or some other, source similar in nature. And again, the difference is you guys can have 100,000 people in this and you don't have to pay for it, right? With MailChimp, you're limited to 2,000 before you have to pay for the pro version, right? But it's going to be very similar in nature when it comes to that, right? And now it's going to, and this is where all the styling is as well. So there's going to be a global tab where you can style all components in the letter, even the background. If you want it to be a black background instead of white, you can do that, right? If you want the links to be gold instead of blue, you can do that. Same thing with live listings. So if you wanted to send out a market update or market report to a client about specific listings, right? This is where we do, because we touched on it last week, but I didn't want to go too deep into it because we're going to touch on it now. But this is where you would do that. So let's say you don't want it to look a certain way and you only want certain listings. This is where you would go to knock that part out, right?
Click on each listing that you want to send.
Exactly. Yep. It's going to ask you which one, and it's going to ask you where it's coming from. So again, you can use FMLS or Georgia MLS or Common, which is going to be a collection of them both, right? But it's only going to use the specific criteria that they share in common, right? So if you want to be super specific, you might have to go to one MLS over the other. You can't just do Common, right? And here we go. This is what it's going to look like. And again, I'm not typing anything. And I like to think that I'm a great yeah, However, I'm not touching ChatGPT. right? And you'll find too that nowadays inside of our creative studio, it's all integrated as well. So the AI component is going to be there if you don't want to have to jump to ChatGPT, right? It's going to be right there for you, right? Testimonial box, anything that you may want that you find is going to be effective to securing this person as your client, right? That's what this is about. Again, some people will use the basic version, and that's fine because it's better than nothing. But I'm telling you, if you put a little bit of time and energy and effort into this, and you make it the way that you want it, and you stamp it with your brand, right? Game over, and people are going to remember that. Again, the way you get the business is by being top of mind. You have to be there. You have to be present. You have to be an option when they're ready to transact. If you're not, they're going to go to somebody else, right? And you might be a much better candidate, but they don't know. They don't even know you exist, right? All right. And so obviously, well, maybe not too obviously, but this is the same thing that you're going to do for the newsletters. So you can create the same template, and now you have a newsletter put together, right? And the beautiful thing is, again, you can come to Creative Studio. And you can send some of these type of pieces, right? That's already done for you. I'm blasting everybody. If I have a listing, everybody needs to know about that listing.
Yeah.
Right? Even if, again, these are touch points. You have to stay top of mind with these people. And the more active you are in the industry, the more active they see you being in the industry, the more likely they're going to want to use you. So even if you have a new listing that's not for that particular person, guess what? They're still receiving that email, right? And they're going to see, oh, this person is active. They might delete it immediately, but they're going to, or they might keep it because they love the branding element of it all. Like, this is really cool. Let me save this or put it in the folder, because when I'm ready to sell my house, I need somebody that's going to do something like this for me, right? Same thing with the market updates, right? You guys control all of this, and you put what you want. There was something specifically that I was looking for, though. Let me get to that.
I think you were mentioning newsletters.
Thank you. Let me do it this way.
I think it's one digital templates. I feel like it's up there. Search.
Yeah, it might be, but it's, yeah. So you could do introducing a new property, right? Whatever it might be, right? New to the market over here. Some of this is One Lux. So if you don't have One Lux yet, then you won't see some of these. That's why I was trying to stay out of One Lux. That's why I didn't want to search. Let me do it this way. Yeah. Anyway, you guys get the picture, right? So use this stuff to make you look that much better in the eyes of your clients, right? And they're going to be like, because you have a full-blown marketing department working on your behalf to create this stuff, right? Both from a local level and a corporate level. So use it, you know? And then they're going to see it and they're going to know that. They're going to be like, wow, they have a massive team, or they have an incredible team. These people can get the job done for me for sure, right? Same thing with email signatures. You know, we have those created for you if you want those there. And then also, just while we're on the topic, if you go to branding, oh yeah, there's a ton more stuff too here on the branding.realty1group.com. But specifically, come here, right? A ton of stuff for you guys. In addition, let me let Anthony back in. Welcome back, Anthony. So if you come to affiliates and you type in Terminus and hit enter, and you scroll down again, we have, so if you download this logo kit, it's all good. You can use it, but you can ask us because we have some additional logos that you guys are available to use. But right here, you'll find another email signature that you can copy and paste. So you click on download email signature. It doesn't actually download it. You just copy it and then you can paste it, right? But again, you want it to look good. You want it to be appealing, and you want them to know that you're professional. And if you have a basic text email, they're already gonna be like, I just saw somebody with an email signature that wowed me. You know, you're gonna lose the business off of email signature because you didn't take the time to do that the right way. Right?
I wish that would be the reason why I lost some business. I'd be willing to fight for that.
Hey man, you'd be surprised. You will be surprised. They would never tell you that though.
Yeah, I'd fight you.
You'll never find out.
Exactly. All right, so going back to OneSuite. So this again, this piece right here is going to be super crucial to helping you get those touch points that you need, right? And it's done for you, and it's very effective, right? So please, and again, every single person that's inside of your database should be on some sort of campaign, right? At least one. If they're not on at least a holiday campaign, that's a problem, man. Right?
I think it's important to share that even if there's not a message, if there's not a campaign or a letter that fits your needs, you can create a new one.
Absolutely.
And there's it also gives you an HTML template, so you can drop in graphics, you can drop in blocks.
Absolutely.
And so,
great point. Great point. And going back to branding.
So that's what
Hey.
Yes. Did somebody have a question? Or was that an accident?
Of the campaign.
Sorry, can you repeat that for me? You were breaking up a little bit.
The graphics of the campaign, will the campaign run the same every year, or every year you have to go in there and change it? And also, can we tell when they open it or not? Will we get a signal or something that shows they have looked at it?
Absolutely. So first, our marketing department is the greatest on earth. And I say that, but it's the truth. It's not even close, man. And I've been a part of the best. This is literally the best. You'll have stuff back here from years ago that you can still use, right? You see August campaign. This is last August, I believe, right? This is the new August. So to answer your question, there's always going to be new stuff created by our marketing department all the time. We have a whole Giphy page on Giphy, right? With all kinds of Realty One Group branded stuff. That's phenomenal.
Where's that at?
Let me see. But yes, to answer your question, they'll be updated for you as the years go. But again, some campaigns stop after a certain point. Going back to the buyer campaign, right? So with the buyer campaign, after the 32nd day, they don't receive any more emails from that campaign because the 32nd day is the end of that campaign, right? So if it's a perpetual campaign like holidays, it'll be updated. But if it's a campaign like the buyer campaign or something that has an actual stopping date, then it will not. Right.
Thanks for explaining.
Yeah. And so here's our Giphies. Here's our Giphies, right? And this is going to be from all of our various offices. We have 478 offices now, right? So you'll find that some don't use Legend because it's clearly not Terminus, right? But some of this stuff is going to be, just basic where anybody can use. Exactly. See, they tripping with the Keller Williams. I don't know where that came from. And the Coldwell Banker. However, you know what it is? I didn't go to the actual page that's dedicated to us, but still, this is what some of that stuff looks like. And there's a bunch that corporate created that really look good. So you can, and I'll make sure that everybody receives the link to the actual ones that are generic, and then the ones that we've created for Terminus. But yeah. And like I said, please lean on us when it comes to this marketing stuff, man. This is where we excel. This is what we do. You know what I'm saying? This is how we attract so many people, whether it's agents or clients, right?
Question.
Yes.
If we want something, say we want a graphic created, a specific post that's not in our data or in our system at all, how do we ask someone to create that? Is there
help@oneterminus.com.
we just send the email to help@oneterminus.com?
And be as specific as possible of exactly what you're looking for, and then we'll get working on it. First, what they're going to do is see if we have something that matches that.
Correct.
And if they don't, then we'll figure out what we need to do to get that for you.
Do they have? Is there a link or a help button in anywhere in our system and zone? Or?
Yeah, so yes, great question. So that's a two-part question.
Yeah.
And I'll show you where they live, because this is very relevant. So when you go here, well, I'm about to show y'all now, right? All the way at the bottom, you guys have a ton of links. This is our main web page, oneterminus.com, right? Or realty1groupterminus.com, same thing. At the bottom, you'll see help desk.
Okay.
If you click that, it's going to take you to the one resource guide.
Understood.
So you can ask them this is corporate facing.
Okay.
So you can ask them if you need it. You can also do support at the bottom. So if you want to live chat, that's available.
Oh,
if you wanted to submit a request, that's available. I would always encourage you to search for it first or see if it's here somewhere, because it probably is. But if not, you can either send it this way. And if it's something that our team locally needs to help you with, they'll just forward it to us.
Got it.
Right.
And this is specific, like, so if it's a graphic, so this will be routed to the marketing department or whoever's doing it.
Exactly. Yep. I'll show you. I'll give you an idea. So submit a request, and I'm gonna show you where else you can access this to. So they'll ask you, what can we assist you with today? Right. And it might say something like marketing. So that would be under marketing.
Gotcha.
Right. Then you would just say, hey, I need some assistance creating a graphic for X, Y, and Z. And then they'll see if they have it. They'll see if they can create it. And if not, they're going to kick it back to our local marketing department and say, hey, Adrian and team, this is what you guys are looking to, one of your agents needs help with this. And then we'll be able to get you squared away from that standpoint.
Understood. Gotcha.
And then, great question. So where else you can find that is going to be inside of one login. And anytime you guys can't find something, you'll see where it says frequents at the top and your apps everything to the right of it, right? There's a drop down for various things. So core products, marketing products. I don't think you guys will have the recruiting products, or broker services. But everything is where you'll find everything. And you can always search at the top. And in your case, for that question, you would just do one resource guide and it'll pop up for you. And it's going to take you to the same place that we just came from.
Yeah.
Yep. Great question. All right. So to bring it home, does everybody have clarity first before we move on when it comes to the actual drip campaigns? Are there any questions surrounding drip campaigns or drip campaign emails / letters? Anyone, including Zoom World?
I do have a question.
Yes, please. Hold on, let me see who's talking. Oh, Tanisha. Hey, Tanisha.
Hi. Would we be able
Yes.
to see like what letter the buyer and or seller is on in the campaign? Because so, if they have the different touches, would we know which letter was sent out last to them?
Yes. So all of that's going to be documented inside of their particular client profile.
Okay, awesome.
And then it also shows you like these are the individual letters / emails, and it'll show you which email is which one, right? And so it also tell you how that's going to play out. And so let's say, for instance, we do a drip campaign for sellers, a seller prospect campaign. And let's say I don't want to do, does your home have nose appeal? right? I can just delete that one out of it. But they're going to all be in order here. You can change the order too, by the way, but they'll all be here. And then some of them, you'll notice it sends to you. So some are for the contact, some are for you to remind you, hey, follow up with the seller, right? Then another one, okay, time to follow up again. So it's already done for you. And it'll let you know on the far right who it's being sent to and when it's coming, right? So day 5, they're going to be getting that unrivaled, unmatched, right? Boom. And then it'll you know, continue to play on until the campaign is completed. Absolutely. But again, this is literally one of your assistants in the box. So that's what we're trying to create is an ecosystem that pulls you out of the day-to-day stuff that's extremely effective and powerful so you can focus on the sales, right? All of our tools, and that's why everything is integrated the way that that it is, right? To make sure that you're not sitting there, okay, I got to create an email. Now I got to boom. No, it's done for you. Just literally click which campaigns you want them on. But again, I would personally tell you to go in and see what's about to be sent out. Because again, whether you're working with 10 clients or 10,000 clients, you only have to do it one time and make sure that it's the way that you want it to see, right? The way it's written in your voice, right? Or you might read it and say, oh, that's perfect. I don't want to change a thing. But at least you know what they're going to be receiving, right? Great question, Tanisha. All right, so to wrap it up, we're going to go to, again, we'll go back to the homepage and we'll go to training videos and docs. And we're going to go to set up and manage tasks. Right? So going back to some of those questions you guys had about tracking what's going on with the client, that's what this is about, right? So you can create tasks, but you can also see what they're doing. You can see if they're looking at the campaign. You can see if they unsubscribed, right? You can see all these various things so you know where they're at in their headspace, or how far along they are in the process. Let's see. So to add a task, in the contacts and leads section, you want to click on the first name, right? It's going to be a blue hyperlink. And that's for that particular client, right? And the contact details pop up. You can scroll to the bottom. You can add new. You click on new. To edit an existing task, you'll just click on the edit icon on the left of the garbage can icon. And I'll show you what that looks like, right? So this is what their profile will look like. And again, you want as complete a profile as possible for each one of these clients, right? So again, it's a very robust system, right? So each client portal is its own portal, and it can be as in-depth as you want it to be, or it could just be their name, phone number, email address, right? It's up to you. But again, the more in-depth, the better off you're going to be, right? And then you want to take great notes and keep them inside of the client portal, right? Contact notes, right? And there'll be multiple notes that you can add. So as you're talking to them, one thing that I used to always do is if I'm talking to somebody on the phone, I have my CRM. And again, you guys can do this on your phone too, right? Even if you're on the phone, right? We all got smartphones. So you would have the app up or you would have your computer up and you would be making notes as you're talking to them. So you don't forget it, right? It's very simple. It's stuff that is basic, but a lot of us forget or we just don't practice it, right? So as I'm talking to them, I'm seeing what's going on. Oh, they're out of town in Jamaica until whatever. And guess what? The next conversation is, how was Jamaica? Right, basic. But question.
So you said you're inside the, so to add a task, can we add tasks while we're inside their profile? Or, because I'm looking at it right there and it says tasks, and that's inside a profile, but I'm in a profile and I don't see that same option.
So,
oh, I do see the same option.
You see it?
I do.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
I think we're frozen on Zoom. We don't.
Thank you for saying something. I've been asking because I'm on the Vibe board, so I don't know which screen you guys are seeing.
No problem. Thank you.
Let's see. So what I'll do it from here so you guys can see it. So have you guys not been sitting in PDFs the whole time?
So it stopped when you went to do a task.
Okay, yeah. So that means you guys haven't been seeing the PDFs. So thank you for that. So you would go to contacts and leads, for instance, or actually you can go to client tracking as well. But you would click on, right?
Mhm.
And then at the bottom, you'll see tasks, right? You can also make calendar appointments. And remember, you can integrate this with Google. So your Google Calendar can be integrated. You can say, okay, boom, new appointment. Absolutely. And now it's going to add it to your Google Calendar as well. Contact activity, going back to someone else's question, right? You can see exactly what they're doing and when they did it. They opened up this particular email on this particular day, right?
You know what I think would be important, since we talked about drip campaigns, is to show them how to attach a drip campaign from their profile. Right there in the middle of the page, top of your hand, drip campaign.
Oh yeah. And you can also, so there's campaign tags too. So when it comes to the campaign tag, if you can create a campaign tag inside the drip campaigns, you'll be able to manage it, and then you can just tag the people too if you want it to be a little bit easier. But for a drip campaign, you would click on that, you all, and then whichever campaign, well, that's the ones that's going to already be assigned to them. So you will have to assign it from the campaign section first, and identify it to that client. And then once they're there, you can see which drip campaigns they're currently a part of, and you can see which ones they unsubscribe from.
You can do it from the campaign tags. So if you click on campaign tags, they have all the campaigns there. Click on manage.
Okay, cool. Boom. Right. Add the campaign tags. Thank you. So again, there's a million ways you can get to this stuff, y'all. Same thing with reports. If you want to create a report from the actual client screen, you can do it right here. Create report. Right. It shows you when they registered to the website or whatever else, or when it was added to. And there's Zapier links as well. So you'll be able to link anywhere you're receiving leads from, you can link it to Zapier, and then it'll zap it into the to your CRM for you. So you have realtor.com leads, if you have homes.com leads, or sold.com leads, whatever that lead source is, you can drip it directly in here from Zapier. Right. I got to stop just putting people's information up like that. It's crazy. This is going on YouTube.
Which means you need to put up a test.
I know, right? So yeah, so that's really it in a nutshell. What questions do you guys have for me? Because again, today's main core instruction, if you will, was about that drip campaign scenario. Does anyone have any questions about creating a drip campaign?
I have a question.
I should have known. Now, what's up, Dan?
If you start, say you have a prospect. I mean, okay, the drip campaign I know was a preset of letters, right? It's a category of letters. So if you start,
Correct.
so if you have a prospect and they move to buyer, and I know you can edit the letters that are in the campaign. Can you change them? I guess the letters, I guess I should say, just take them out and put them into the drip campaign, or can you do that? Or am I asking it or you don't understand?
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Adrian, I think what she's trying to say is, can you change it from maybe either one campaign to another, or maybe you just start off as a prospect and can you add them to a particular
They
campaign?
start off as a prospect and it's like 32 letters. Once they got the 32, you've already, now they want to be a buyer or seller, whichever. And I wanted, or even if they stopped in the middle of it, 15th letter went out and they decided to change, can you change? And I know you can edit the campaign letters. So can you put some new letters in there because now they're a buyer instead of a prospect?
Yeah, absolutely. So, as an example, I don't know who this guy is, so I don't care who sees his information on YouTube. So yes, you would literally just come here, right?
Okay.
You'll see where if he had a campaign, well, you can't see me touching the screen, but if he had a campaign, it'd be under the drip campaigns. you would select view all, and you would be able to remove him from there. You could also remove him from the campaign tags. Anything that he's already on will be here. And you can just, so if he's a cold lead, he's a cold lead now, and he's a buyer prospect. If that changes and he's no longer a cold lead, I can just take him off of cold lead and hit apply, and he'll be removed from that. Did that answer your question?
But will they go to another drip campaign? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. If you only so the system only does what you assign it to do. So
Okay.
in your specific question, let's say he was a buyer prospect at one point.
Right.
He started off as a cold lead, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you took him off of cold lead
Right.
and buyer prospect. Then I'm going to add him to buyer campaign,
Okay.
right? Because now he's on a full-blown campaign. He's not just a prospect.
Okay. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but you would have to apply. And let's say he's a first-time buyer, right? Whatever that may look like. But you would have to apply it, and that'll be sent out. And then same thing if you want to send him a home buying guide campaign,
Okay.
right? Absolutely. Great question. Anyone else? Any questions? Anything that we can clarify for you in regards to setting up campaigns to help you run your business and be effective? And again, as I mentioned before, everybody that you know should be in your CRM. Everybody that you know should be on at least some form of drip campaign, right? These are touches at a minimum, which are going to be able to position you as the realtor of choice in their minds, right? And again, even if they unsubscribe, that's a great touch point opportunity to give them a call and say, hey, I want to reach out to you. I saw where you unsubscribed, right?
Right.
Whatever, you just follow some dialogue after that. We have a ton of scripts. But not only that, even if they do unsubscribe, first off, you still somewhat in their head, right? And at a minimum, they wasn't on the drip campaign in the first place. So who cares? And make sure you have enough clients where that's not going to impact your business if one person unsubscribed. Right. So you have to stay in front of these people. And again, especially in today's world where everything is so rapid, right? People are on social media and they completely forget about what just happened 30 minutes ago, right? So you have to stay in front of them. And guess how many people are realtors in Atlanta that's on their social media? So they're going to remember them now. So you have to stay in front of them. You have to be in front of them at all times, right? Going back to social media, you can do the same thing from OneSuite, Creative Design Studio, I mean, and put them on, do social media campaign nonstop. It sounded like somebody wanted to add something. Or was that a cough? Okay. Well, that's it for today, y'all. Thank you for joining us. If there are no more questions, I'll go ahead and give you back the rest of your day. Go make it great. If you have any questions, of course, you already know where to find me. Reach out to me or the One Resource Center or a help team, and we'll get you squared away. Goodbye, all.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It is my pleasure.
Thanks.
Thank you. I love you.